Hello. Um, I was listening to this song earlier today uh, called Deliver Me. And I believe the soloist on it is Leandria Johnson. And the essence of the song is basically a prayer. She's crying out to the Lord and asking the Lord to deliver her from herself. And when I first heard that song a while ago, um, it was such a powerful song because a lot of times as Christians, we pray and cry out to the Lord to deliver us from a lot of stuff, from situations to relationships, um, struggle, a lot of stuff. And if we really dissect a lot of the things that we have to deal with in life, sometimes it's not really the circumstances that we need to be delivered from. Sometimes it's ourselves that we need to be delivered from because sometimes we experience what we experience because of us. We are the me in our own mess. Had we made different decisions, had we been more mature, had we gone left instead of right or right instead of left, we probably would not have to experience a lot of the hardships that we have to endure in life. And so when Leandra cries out in this song to the Lord, she's asking him to deliver herself because she continues to make bad decisions for her life. And I think a lot of us are that way. We create circumstances in our lives because we lack stewardship, we lack obedience, we lack spiritual maturity, we lack wisdom and discernment. And then when we find ourselves in places that God did not orchestrate, we start crying out to the Lord. But if you're not careful, you'll ask God to deliver you from your circumstances. But you never mature or get to the point of accountability that you actually ask God to deliver you, from the demons that you have that keep getting you in those circumstances. So some of us need to keep that in mind. We pray all the time, and I'm asking God to change this and change that and change this. And God says, you're praying amiss. You're praying about the wrong thing right now because your circumstances are your fault. The things that you are experiencing right now uh, are your own doing. And so before I deliver you from your circumstances, I need you to recognize that you are the problem. Your mindset, the way you think, is the problem. And that's why you keep experiencing the things that you are experiencing. To be transparent, I remember, and I say this all the time, speaking and teaching, is that it's so important to find the me in your own mess, specifically when it comes to relationships, whether that's a romantic relationship or a friendship. Because in hindsight, if we were to be honest with ourselves, a lot of those relationships we absolutely had no business being in. We didn't. But again, because we were immature, disobedient to God, not faithful, straddling the fence in specific areas of our lives, a lot of times we have to deal with certain things that otherwise, had we followed in the way of God and allowed God to establish our ways, we wouldn't have to deal with. So what I realized about myself in one relationship in particular, I knew better. I knew better, but because I stepped outside of the will of God, I had to pay the cost for that. And so when I look back on that particular relationship, I don't look at it from a victim's mentality. I don't look at it bitterly. I don't deal with unforgiveness because God showed me that, first of all, you had no business being in that relationship. And God showed me the me in my own mess. And so I embrace that. And I think that when you get to the point when you start crying out to the Lord, Lord, deliver me. You have to leave room for God to expose you to the me in your own mess. You have to leave room for that. Otherwise, you'll keep crying out to God for situations that you keep putting yourself in because you don't want to be responsible. And you know, in that relationship for me, I realized that um, I may not have provoked mistreatment in that relationship because I was faithful, I was loyal, I was committed, I was everything good. I did not provoke mistreatment in that relationship. I did my part, but I positioned myself for mistreatment in that relationship because, again, in hindsight, I had no business being in that relationship in the first place. So just keep that in mind. You know, whatever it is that you're asking God to deliver you from, make sure that you are being open and receptive uh, to God because He may be exposing you to the you in your own mess. And it might not necessarily be the situation or the circumstance that you need delivering from. You might need to be delivered from yourself.